Hi, I'm Dan Cortopassi, and today I'm reviewing an HO scale Trainmaster locomotive from Atlas. A retro review is a review of a model from an older production run. I haven't modified this engine in any way, so it's still in the same condition as when I bought it. Atlas recently re-released these models with new numbers, so I thought it would be interesting to review this one. My model is decorated for Southern Pacific in the scarlet and gray scheme. Atlas offers this model in two versions. The current MSRP for the DCC Ready version is $184.95. The MSRP for the version with DCC and sound is $294.95. When I bought my model in 2017, the MSRP for the DCC Ready version was $169.95, and the MSRP for the LokSound DCC and Sound Equip model was $279.95. I paid $209.95 for my DCC and Sound Equip model at the Train Shop in Santa Clara, California. In spite of the $15 increase in the MSRP, I shopped around and found some of the Sound Equip models from the current run available online for under $200. We'll start the model at 100 possible points. The engine comes in a cardboard box with a cardboard sleeve. Inside, a plastic cradle protects the model. There's a quick start manual for the LokSound Select decoder in the engine, and a paper with exploded view drawings. The model is secured to the bottom part of the cradle with a pair of Phillips screws. A pair of plastic plugs are in a bag taped to the cradle. These can be used to fill the screw holes in the bottom of the fuel tank on the model if desired. I'm not a fan of boxes like this one that hold the model with screws, but the box should still do a good job protecting the model for storage and transport. Southern Pacific's Fairbanks Morse H2466 Trainmaster locomotives were delivered in 1953 and 1954 in the SP Black Widow scheme. The railroad rostered a total of 16 of these units, initially numbered 4800 to 4815. 4800 and 4801 were ex-demo units with some detail variations from the rest of the SP Trainmaster fleet. The latest run from Atlas offers models in this number range. The scarlet and gray scheme was adopted in 1958. SP's Trainmasters were repainted between 1959 and 1962, so the newer Atlas models are most appropriate for the early to mid-1960s era. In 1965, SP renumbered these units 3020 to 3035. My model of 3020 is from the older Atlas run. These best represent the units from 1965 through 1974. The Trainmasters spent the majority of their careers on the San Francisco Peninsula pulling commute trains. All of them were withdrawn from service by 1974. Most of the units were subsequently scrapped. SP set aside 4 units to be converted to unpowered brake sleds. Only one unit was actually completed, SPMW 9100, formerly number 3027. 9100 served in West Colton for a few years but was scrapped by April 1983. Overall, the model captures the look of SP's Trainmasters. Some smaller details don't quite match prototype photos. Most notably, the ex-demonstrator units 3020 and 3021 had open areas under the side walkways near the middle. The details on the model are more correct for SP's other Trainmasters. I'm puzzled by Atlas's choice of number for this model since this detail would be correct for other units. There are 2 ways to fix this. One would be to do surgery on the model and redo the walkways. Probably an easier route would be to renumber the unit. Either way, it would take quite a bit of work to fix, so I'm taking 5 points. The front lacks the low pilot plow that was present on the real units. SP Trainmasters had wider front number boards that extended from the side of the car body almost to the oscillating light housing. There were also small boxes under the front number boards that are not present on the model. The rear number board arrangement is correct, though on the real units these were painted over. They should be overall red, not red with black in the middle. This model comes in at a lower price than some other sound-equipped HO scale diesels, and it may be close enough for many modelers. Still, it would take some work to correct these additional issues, so I'm taking another 5 points. The paint on the model is opaque and the markings are crisp and free of voids. Most of the tiny writing is legible with magnification. I really like the FM Builder's plate near the rear of the unit. The shell has great louver and door detail. The side grills in the back of the model are molded into the shell. I really like the separately applied door handles on the sides of the model. The handrails are made of a flexible plastic. The stanchions are mostly straight on my model, though the front handrails don't seem to want to stay connected to the cab. They're not broken, they just keep popping out of the tiny holes that are supposed to hold them. A little canopy glue would probably fix this. The cab should have sunshades, but none are provided. There is a rudimentary cab interior with crew figures. The trucks have excellent detail and separate brake lines. The springs are real, which looks neat, though they don't actually do anything. In front, the model has the SP light package with a large oscillating light above the headlight. The class lights are not functional. The front handrails have a drop chain and solid bar across the middle, just like the real thing. Both ends have functional drop steps. The pilots have uncoupling levers, MU connectors, and hoses. Details in the rear are similar to the front. The footboard steps are correct on this end. On top, the model has a nice horn casting and a see-through grille behind the cab. The exhaust tacks don't have any real depth and would look better painted black inside. The radiator fan grille has nice fan detail inside. Underneath, the model has good air reservoir detail around the fuel tank. All 6 axles are powered and all 12 wheels pick up current. The trucks have metal wheels with the standard RP25 tread profile. The model has plastic knuckle couplers on both ends. Looking for a match on the horizontal center line, the front coupler is at the correct height. The rear coupler is low, so I'm taking 5 points. All the wheels are in gauge according to the NMRA standards gauge. There is no body wobble. The model weighs 23.6 ounces. I measured 4.7 ounces of drawbar pull on my force gauge. A lot of HO scale diesels are in the 2.5 to 3 ounce range, so this is a strong puller by comparison. I'm running the model on DCC and haven't changed any of the factory decoder settings. The address is set to 3 by default. This model has a Lokesound Select, which is a 4th generation decoder. I'm not sure if the new ones have Lokesound 5s or not. The model starts and runs smoothly. F1 rings the bell. F2 sounds the horn. The length of the toot depends on how long the F2 key is pressed. F0 turns on the headlight. F6 turns on the oscillating light. Both of these lights are directional. The front lights come on when the model is set to move forward, and the rear lights come on when the model is set to move backwards. The number boards are not lit. With the sound off, the model is very quiet. To remove the shell, first remove the couplers and coupler boxes. Now the shell will come off. On top of the frame are the light board with decoder and the speaker. The decoder connects with a 21-pin plug. This is where you'd install a DCC decoder if you had the DCC Ready version. Because I'm not planning to keep this model, I'm not going to change the couplers. So this model is from an older production run. Atlas recently re-released these with different numbers, but otherwise they look pretty much the same as far as I can tell. As I mentioned, it does have some detail discrepancies, and some SP modelers might want to fix those things. I would probably do that if I were planning to keep this one, but since it doesn't really fit my 1990s Donner Pass theme, I think I'm going to sell this and pass it along to someone else. Let's see what we've got. Some of the details on the model don't match the prototype, so I took 10 points in the prototype accuracy category. The rear coupler was low, so I took 5 points in the standards and operation category. That leaves us with 85 out of 100 possible points, which earns a B. This is a nice model and it deserves a green signal. Overall, I think Atlas did a pretty good job on this model. If you're looking for a Trainmaster locomotive for your HO scale layout, then I think you might like it. If you like this video, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really helps out. Stay tuned and thanks for watching.